Just when I thought that this would be your everyday run-of-the-mill prison movie. Gladly, I was so wrong. Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Tyra here with another struggle review, here to discuss Shot Caller. Now this movie is from 2017 and it stars Nikolaj Coster-Waldau. Now before we get into all things penitentiary, I need you guys to drop down and subscribe to my channel and like this video. I'm going to give you guys a moment to do that. Then we're going to come back and discuss. So many times we get to see, the kingpins in prison and them being already established. Not too often do we get to see exactly how they got there, especially if they weren't like that already on the way in.
Go back.
Now that you guys have hopefully subscribed to see more of me, let's get into this movie. But before we jump into the video, I have to give a shout out to the person who paid for and requested this movie. So if you happen to phone check homie, it's not because of me. It is because of this person right here. Thank you so much for supporting me and paying for this content. Now, getting into this movie was directed, written, and produced by Ric Roman Waugh, who has been in the film industry for many years. From the 80s to the 90s, he did a lot of stunt double work, was a strong performer there. And then once we got into the early 2000s, he switched over into directing, and he directed films such as Felon, Snitch, Shot Caller, and Greenland. Now, when it comes to prison movies or the jailhouse aesthetic in itself, often I feel like they don't have a whole lot to offer. If you've seen one, you've seen them all. We pretty much follow the same formula with a whole lot of these movies, especially if you heavily follow the genre. We have the innocent man goes to prison, or maybe not so innocent man goes to prison. Point blank period, I'm escaping out of here. You have the I just got out, I'm trying to live on the straight and narrow, can't catch a break, I'm on parole, I have 3 strikes, and I'm trying my hardest not to revert back to my former life that got me into prison in the first place. And then you have those brutal, harsh realities of prison movies where your manhood can be taken away, where you join a prison gang, or you become a Muslim. And my old-time favorites, the Mafia Kingpin chain of command prison movies. Shot Caller almost just about encapsulates a little bit of all of these things. But what makes this movie different is that it offers a different narrative when we get to see this white-collar, wealthy, devoted, loving husband and father, stockbroker Jacob, become this ruthless, top dog, alpha, calculated money. Now, the opening of this movie absolutely sets the stage for where Jacob money is in his life at this very moment. Even though he is currently in prison, about to literally get out, he is in a sense writing a goodbye letter to his wife and son. And it just feels like, are you getting out? Are you running away? Or are you going to, unalive yourself? Why would you be saying goodbye to the likes of your son, who you have not seen in many years, when you are literally about to be released out on parole? Via his tattoos, his status, the way he carries himself, he is a changed man, and not at all for the better. Money is paroled and comes home to a crew that's not only familiar gang from jail, but they are practically family. From Shotgun to the newly introduced minion who is there without a record for him to keep his hands clean and also be at his beck and call for this initial connect, and to also complete a weapons deal, continuing on that gang, drug, gun trade activity as if he is still in jail. He is very much so in control of everything, everyone, but he's also really indifferent. Though he just got out of jail, his energy doesn't match everybody else's around him, even though he's been in jail for 10 years with these same people. I'm not thinking about sex. I'm strictly focused on what I need to accomplish. Not only that, but I just got shot at. How did we get here? Now, I love Jacob's perspective here, being this white collar male with this really good job. It just really displays how easily something like that sort of life can be taken away from you, and you can end up in a maximum facility prison with every caliber of criminal under the sun and just not be prepared. 10 years ago, Jacob lost it all due to a fatal car accident. He killed his best friend. We go from a casual dinner with a fellow married couple to being considered a drunk driver who has to take a plea deal. Though accidental, we were over the drinking limit, leaving his family strapped for cash, broken, and changing the relationship between him, his son, and wife forever. But you know what? It is okay. It was an accident. I got a cute little coin. I'm gonna pay for this really good lawyer, take this plea deal, get 16 months for not only killing my fellow friend, accidental, but injuring a driver who was in another vehicle. What is 16 months? A prison with mostly high-level offenders. As long as I do my time, keep my head down, doing 16 months should be a breeze until I'm out of here and reunited with my family. Wrong. As his lawyer stated in the beginning before he went in, being housed with every single criminal under the sun, you will be tested. You either stick it out and survive, or you succumb and you will become a target. After witnessing a fellow new inmate such as himself receive the lockdown treatment, if you know what I'm saying, Jacob obviously chooses the latter. I love that once inside, he is absolutely stripped down to the bare minimum. Once you are in there, who you were as a man, your money, your status on the outside does not matter. And who you become internally is a totally different person. Jail is not so much at all about rehabilitation, but it's about survival and protection. Jacob, being a white man, falls in with a white supremacy group who offers protection in numbers and also offers status. But entry, per usual, is not free. Not only does he have to keister a couple of drugs, we are smuggling and we are distributing, but we also end up proving our loyalty, having to kill a snitch, having to kill an additional person during a riot, not only trying to protect himself, but protect a fellow gang member. Every single order that the current shot caller Bottles throws out, we have to abide by. Even getting into somebody like Shotgun, I love the atmosphere and the interaction he has with Shotgun while we have the flashbacks of him being in prison. And then when we get into present day, you see how much control that he has and how much he's changed as a man when he starts to rule over somebody like Shotgun. Everything we eventually see Money become is absolutely learned behavior that was allowed to happen to him while he was supposed to be doing his time in prison. But all of these things, all of these actions that have taken place, not only changes Money as a man, but it removes him further and further away from his former life as a family man and a father, and it also potentially can increase his prison time. Caught on camera, we go from a 16-month sentence to receiving 9 additional years for murder. Money is now accepting, he's hardened, and he's institutionalized. Not only do I want to disconnect from my family altogether and have them move on with their life, but now I'm a murderer, a smuggler, and a force within this prison that eventually moves up in the ranks. I really enjoyed the way that this movie decided to show age progression and time going by in Money's case, whether we are getting into the aging and the fine lines around his face, we're getting into the mustache, the change in mannerisms, persona, the hair being slicked back, and really the addition of the tattoos all over his body, just to show how much he's changed and how much time he has really spent in prison. Even when we we get into flash forwards of current day and him having the conversation with his wife and really beginning that disconnect. I'm only here to give money. After this, you will never see me again. He is just so cold and wants nothing to do with his former life. And it's just really hard to see when you see how persistent that his wife was. She wanted to stick by his side and clearly still loves him even though 10 years have gone by. Why is he so ready to separate from his family when you can see that he clearly still loves and cares about them? Where is he going and what is he doing? Now, in figuring out exactly what he is doing, we get into Omari Hardwick's character, who is a very devoted police officer, and he just happens to be Money's parole officer. He knows all about the deal that is about to go down, and he is waiting this entire movie just for Money to slip. He is doing surveillance, he's hired informants, he's waiting for the deal to go down to infiltrate and make a big bust. Problem is, Money always seems to be one step ahead of him and everyone else at all times. And he, more than anybody else, wants to know how Jacob got to be Money and why somebody with so much to live for, this family, this life, this money, this stockbroker past, would go on to want to live out his life this way. Now, Shotgun, aka Shane from The Walking Dead, was not fooling me and definitely wasn't fooling Money with the way that he was moving, and figured out really early on that he was an informant. Money is extremely smart, he's business minded, he's calculated, and is forever on high alert. I really enjoyed the parallels between Money and his parole officer and the sense of them both wanting to be top dogs in their fields of choice. Money and the ruthless behavior that we see him display throughout the entire movie to make sure that the agenda that he has for his life and his family's life play out to the very end of the movie. And then once we get into Omari Hardwick here as a parole officer, though he isn't a criminal, the way that he wants to go about being relentless and ruthless to the point of being really in control of the environment, of the case, getting down to the bottom, being the one to solve it, to the point that even though he is injured, he is still persevering and pressing through and not taking a moment to rest, to the point that we would even use the same tactics on an informant that the Beast or Bottles or eventually somebody like Money would use on an inmate or fellow gang member inside. Money, after receiving 9 more years, he is transferred to a maximum facility prison where he eventually meets the Beast and begins taking orders from him. Just like our parole officer or the Beast, they are both doing the exact same things. That's whether it's a fellow gang member, an inmate, or a parolee, or an informant. We need you to be complacent and fall in line. And whatever we have to do or say to get you to do that, we are willing to do it. Like threatening bodily harm towards you, your family, can be implicated in charge. Like Shotgun, who doesn't want to be an informant but is forced to due to the parole officer having the girlfriend in custody. If you don't comply and give us something on Money, tell us something about this deal, then she will not only be arrested and go to prison, but you will also do what we need you to do, get us what we want to hear, and then you as well as your girlfriend can be set free. But of course, in his case as well as Money's, even if we aren't in prison, there is never really a sense of freedom. The same way the parole officers were able to approach Shotgun and use his criminal background and his implications against him, we have the Beast do the same thing to Money. After spending 10 years in jail, we are finally being paroled. But prior to that, for the past 9 years, he has taken orders from and looked up to the likes of Beast, who has repeatedly fed him this rhetoric of family, rising above the cages, the guards, the whole, rising above it all, not allowing the system to break you. Even though we have to do downright dirty things in here to survive, it's all about us surviving, being brothers while we're inside. That is until you have an opportunity to be outside and break away. He totally thought, now that I am parole, maybe I really do have an opportunity at maybe a sense of normalcy. If anything else, I can maybe finally be a father to my son. No, the moment that you step out of here, you still have obligations to this gang. Did you believe that it will stop just because you are out? What about all of the things that I did for you? What about when I protected you? You still owe me. And if you think you don't, just because you want to turn your life around, you don't want to jeopardize your parole, your freedom, your aspect of your family, you can absolutely say goodbye to your family, because I will kill them. Get to the drug deal, get to wherever else you need to be after this gun deal. You will be tied to me and tied to this gang for the rest of your life. Yeah, money said nope. Not only is this not going to work for me, and I am going to brokenheartedly step away from my son, even after I have begged my ex-wife, to keep him away from him. Now that he is here standing in my face asking why don't you want to be with me, being my life, I can help you, please Dad, I am going to disconnect completely and turn away, because this was all a part of my plan from the beginning. What? Money deciding that this was no way to live his life, and him not wanting to jeopardize his family's life, but I don't want to die either. I would rather take my chances becoming the top dog, the alpha, the shot caller. Me replacing the beast and becoming the beast is my best chance at saving my family. We set things in motion from the very beginning. Of course, we have to kill off the informant snitch shotgun, because I need my plan to roll into motion smoothly. Now, of course, money is doing all of these things strategically just to end up back in prison. But in going to prison, I also need to go back on my own terms and on my own time. I need to say my goodbyes, give my wife this money, set things up there. I also need to set up this plan in motion to set up everybody who pretended to be also loyal to me in prison, but giving the first opportunity to, they all turn on me. And that's whether they are becoming an informant trying to turn me into the police for their own gain, or they are just solely trying to undercut a portion of this deal and keep me out of it financially. I'm going down, and everybody is going down with me. But I also still need this cop on my trail to ruin this gun bust and arrest everybody that they don't kill along with me, dropping the coordinates of the location, along with getting rid of the little minion who is supposed to be working with him that had loyalty to Shotgun all along. The plan is in motion. Even the plan for me to enjoy the wind on my face, take a moment to bask in the food I used to enjoy, the places I used to go, even getting to see my ex-wife one last time. I never intended to stay out of prison. No plea deal, no exchange of this in order to have freedom was even anywhere in mind. We go to jail with one agenda: to take over and kill the beast. Now that he is considered a martyr, you're a snitch, you ruined this deal, you will instantly be attacked by all the people who have loyalty to the beast as soon as you step foot into the jail. What are you going to do? I tell you what he was going to do. He came in there and he keistered a little murder, death, kill kit that contained a cuff key, a match, and a razor blade equipped to kill the beast at the first chance that he got. Boy, the plan and the motivation that went into him getting to the point where he was at a crossroads with the beast, and it's just like, you have been planning this the entire time. I was never going to be under anybody's thumb for the rest of my life. You were never going to threaten me or hold my family's life over my head to know at any given moment that you could have them hit. That is no way for me to live. Nobody's touching me right now at this moment, and nobody's touching my family. The finesse, the bloody soap boxers, the fight was absolutely everything. Just to see the evolution of who Jacob was when he went in there and who Money turned into, and just the Bloods, say I'm in control. Like, you're gonna answer to me now. Though this is not, the plan that I have for my life, though I would love to be out in the world living my best life, maybe even as a father, this is how it is. This is the best way that I could ever protect my family. Yes, I will continue to be in jail. Yes, I will remain in jail for the rest of my life, committing crimes, being the head of this criminal organization. But if that means my family gets to live and go on, especially my son, I owe them that much. I was here for it. I was here for it. Now, not to say that this movie just created something entirely new and it's not giving none of, the tropes that we have seen before. A lot of that is here, but this movie does have something new to offer. I really feel like you should check it out. It is available here on YouTube, and I will leave the link for that below. Go be a shot caller. Well, you guys, that was my review for Shot Caller. I hope you enjoyed it. Please drop down and tell me what you thought about this film. Have you seen it? If not, I'm gonna leave that link. Go check it out and come back and let me know your thoughts. I appreciate you guys so much for supporting me, watching this video. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff because it helps me out. I see you guys next time for my next review. Bye.